This video covers two-step equations. Before we start, I'd like to explain some terminology. Remember, an equation is a mathematical statement where two quantities are equal and involve algebraic expressions and have an equal sign. An inverse operation is an opposite used in solving an equation. For example, the opposite to adding is subtracting, the opposite to multiplication is division. Two-step equations require two steps or operations to solve, hence the name. Remember, we use inverse operations to solve equations. We'll now work through some questions. On the screen, we have an equation. I'm going to rewrite it just a little bit bigger over here. Now remember, we want to find what m equals. So essentially, we need to move the numbers to the other side. We always like to start by getting rid of the number that's by itself. In our case, we're trying to get rid of the plus 7 first. Now remember, we're using inverse operations. Now, the opposite to plus 7 is minus 7. One of the big rules is that what you do to one side of the equal sign, you need to do to the other. So we also need to put the minus 7 on that side. These cancel out. What is left over on the left side is our 2m. And on our right side, we have 19 take away 7, which is 12. We then need to split the 2 and the m up. Now remember, 2m is the same as 2 times m. Now the opposite of times is divide. So we're going to divide both sides by 2. The m is left over, and we get 12 divided by 2, which is 6. Take your time with these. Do not rush through them, and make sure you're doing the correct operation. It's always the opposite. Again, let's do another question. We want to get rid of the number by itself first. This time will be plus 5 because what we have in the equation is minus 5. They cancel out, and we're left with 8d equals negative 22. We then need to split up the 8 and the d, and remember that's 8 times d, so the opposite is divide. The 8's cancel out, and we're left with d equals negative 2.75. We'll do another question here. Again, let's get rid of the number by itself first. They cancel out. M over 2 remains. And we get 9. 13 take away 4 is 9. What we have there is a fraction. Now remember, a fraction is just division. So the opposite of division is times. So we're going to multiply it by 2. The 2's cancel out. And m equals 18. And we'll do one more. 3x over 2 equals 9. This time, we do not have a number that is by itself first. So let's get rid of the number on the bottom. To do that, we multiply by 2. That cancels out, and we're left with 3x equals 18. We then want to get rid of the 3 and split the 3 and the x up, so we divide by 3. The 3's cancel, and x equals 6. To end this video, we'll do a quick recap. Remember, two-step equations require two steps or operations to solve, and remember, we use inverse operations to solve equations. In most cases, you need to remove the number by itself first, that is, the number not connected to the pronumeral or letter. And also remember, if you have 3d, that is the same as 3 times d, and if you have d over 3, that is the same as d divided by 3.